Welcome back to the deep dive. You know how it works? We skip the endless searching, grab the sources, and pull out what really matters for you.
Exactly. And today, we're focusing on just one source, but it's a dense one, an Amazon product page.
That's right. We're dissecting the page for the glorious gaming model D2 wireless ergonomic mouse.
Think of it like peeling an onion. We want to see what the manufacturer is claiming, look at the specs, and then, importantly, see what actual users are saying.
Yeah, what's the story they're telling versus the reality? We've got claims of it being super light, crazy long battery life, a top sensor.
And then you hit the reviews, and, well, things get interesting. So
Yeah.
let's unpack it.
Okay, let's start with the official title on the page. Glorious Gaming Model D2 Wireless Ergonomic Mouse.
And right there in the title, they load you up with keywords.
Oh, yeah. Super light 66G, up to 210H battery life, 26K optical sensor, 6 programmable buttons, 80 million clicks.
And they even specify who it's for: FPS, MMO, MOBA, Battle Royale games. Designed for gamers.
We're looking at the white version today, just for clarity.
So definitely aimed at serious gamers, you'd think.
Yeah.
Ergonomic. Those game genres.
Right.
It screams competitive.
It does, but they also sneak in that little phrase, perfect for work and play. Trying to catch a wider net, maybe.
Could be. Okay, so about this item section, that's like their main pitch, right?
Right, and they lead with ergonomic design. Comfort, less fatigue for long sessions. They even show pictures suggesting it's good for palm and claw grips.
Which makes sense for that shape. Comfort is huge if you're gaming for hours. Or even working, frankly.
Totally non-negotiable. But then they pivot straight to performance. Ultra lightweight, just 66 grams.
Yeah, they hiked that up quite a bit. Lightning fast speed, effortless movement, claiming it helps you react faster.
And that's a big deal in gaming mice now, isn't it? The lightweight trend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Every gram matters for some players. Less inertia means quicker flicks, less fatigue over time. It's a genuine performance feature for competitive play.
Okay, then there's dual wireless connectivity. What's the deal there?
Versatility.
Yeah.
You get the lag-free 2.4 gigahertz connection. That's the gold standard for gaming responsiveness.
Right, like what the pros use.
Exactly. But then you also get Bluetooth 5.2 LE.
And why Bluetooth? Just convenience.
Mostly battery life. Bluetooth uses less power, so it lasts way longer. Good for when you're not gaming, just browsing or working on the go. And you can always plug it in with a USB-C cable.
So you can charge and play, or just go wired if you prefer. That flexibility is pretty neat.
Definitely a plus. You're not stuck with one option.
Now that sensor you mentioned, 26K DPI, that sounds absurdly high.
It is high. They call it a cutting-edge optical sensor, the BAMF 2.0. That's Glorious's own branding, likely based on a high-end PixArt sensor.
So BAMF 2.0 means it's good?
Generally, yes. These high-end sensors promise pixel-perfect tracking, super precise. Now, about the 26,000 DPI, nobody really uses that sensitivity. It's practically uncontrollable.
So it's just marketing, a big number.
Kind of. But a sensor capable of that usually means it's extremely accurate and reliable at the lower, more common DPI settings people actually use, like 800 or 1600 DPI. That's what really matters, clean, consistent tracking.
Okay, so the headline number isn't the point, it's the underlying quality. Makes sense.
Yeah.
What about speed? The specs mention 650 IPS.
Right, 650 inches per second. That's the maximum speed you can physically move the mouse before the sensor might theoretically have trouble keeping up.
And 650 is that fast?
It's extremely fast, like faster than humanly possible in a normal gaming scenario. Even pro players making huge swipes probably don't break 300 IPS. So 650 basically guarantees the sensor will never be the bottleneck, no matter how fast you move.
Got it. So sensor, top tier in practice. What about durability? How long will it last?
That's where the next-gen switches come in. They're rated for 80 million clicks.
80 million? That's a lot of clicks.
It's a very high rating. These are Glorious's own mechanical switches. The goal is to give you confidence that the main buttons won't wear out or start double-clicking prematurely, even with heavy use.
Yeah.
Durability and responsiveness.
Okay, so that covers the main marketing points. Let's dig into the nitty-gritty, the technical spec table.
Sure. Wait, 66 grams, plus or minus 3 grams, which is normal tolerance, sensor. Confirmed BAMF 2.0, 26K, max speed, 650 IPS, like we said.
Polling rate, that's important for responsiveness too, right?
Yep. Standard 1000 hertz, which means a 1 millisecond response time, crucial for gaming. DPI range, 100 up to that 26,000. It comes with 4 default DPI stages you can switch between, but you can customize up to 6 in their software.
And the switches are their own glorious ADM mechanicals. Okay.
Connectivity. We covered a 2.4 gigahertz, Bluetooth 5.2 LE, and wired USB-C. Now that battery life.
Ah, yes, the up to 210 hours. How does that break down?
The specs clarify it's 110 hours using the 2.4 gigahertz connection, the big 210-hour number that's using Bluetooth.
Okay, so a big difference depending on the mode. Still, 110 hours on 2.4 is pretty good.
It is on paper. We'll see what users say later. They also mentioned motion sync.
Motion sync, what does that do?
Basically, it tries to perfectly time when the mouse sends data to your computer, syncing it up with when the computer is ready to receive it. The idea is to make cursor movement feel smoother, more consistent, less prone to tiny stutters.
So fine-tuning that responsiveness. Nice.
Yeah.
What else comes in the box?
You get the mouse itself, of course, 2 sets of feet extensions. Those are the slick pads on the bottom. Extras are always welcome. The little USB 2.4 gigahertz wireless receiver.
The dongle.
Right, and a wireless extender dongle, which is handy. You plug the receiver into it, and it lets you position the receiver closer to the mask using the cable, minimizing interference.
Smart. And the cable itself.
The Type A to Type C ascended cable. That's just Glorious's fancy name for a light, flexible paracord-style cable. Good for wired mode or just charging.
Okay, that feels like a solid overview of the product itself from the page. But there's more to an Amazon page than just the description, right? The whole buying experience.
Absolutely, like the price. Listed at $96.99 new.
Which is, premium mouse territory.
Definitely. But then right below that, there's an option. Use like new for $47.50.
Wow, less than half price. What does that tell you?
It's interesting, isn't it? Could mean a few things. Maybe higher returns than average people try the shape. It's not for them. Or maybe they hit an issue.
Yeah.
Or it's just Amazon efficiently reselling opened items. But for you, the buyer, that's a huge potential saving.
Yeah, makes you think. Is brand new worth double the price compared to, new?
A question to ponder. And notice how heavily they push the Asurian protection plans.
Oh, yeah. 3-year, 4-year, even monthly options, covering accidents, malfunctions after warranty, power surges.
It's standard practice, but pushing it so hard kind of subtly reminds you that, expensive electronics can break or get soda spilled on them, especially near a gaming setup.
True enough. Then you've got the usual Amazon perks, Prime delivery, free returns for 30 days.
That 30-day return window is key, especially for a mouse. Fit and feel are so personal, if it doesn't work for your hand, you can send it back. Provide some peace of mind.
Okay, so we've got the pitch, the specs, the buying context. Now, the moment of truth. What are the actual users saying? Thousands of them.
Right, into the customer reviews. The overall score is pretty strong. 4.4 out of 5 stars from over 3,500 ratings. That's a decent sample size.
And Amazon's AI summary gives a quick snapshot.
Yeah, and it highlights a lot of positives. People seem to really like the mouse quality. Comments like, top tier, well worth the price. Someone even called it the best wireless mouse on the market. High praise.
Wow. What about the weight?
Huge hit. People love how light it is, so light, and it's crazy. You can feel the enthusiasm there.
And comfort. Did the ergonomic design land well?
Seems so. Lots of positive feedback on the grip being comfortable for palm and claw users. Simple comments like, very comfy or feels so good, say a lot.
Okay, quality, weight, comfort. What about value? Given the price?
Surprisingly positive there, too. Many feel it's a fantastic mouse for the money, especially when they compare it to pricier options from Logitech or Razer.
Interesting. And responsiveness. Did the wireless hold up?
Yes, big praise for reaction time and connection. Someone specifically said it feels like it has the same response time as wired. That's a major win for wireless gaming mice.
Okay, so far it sounds like it delivers exactly what Gloria's promised. High quality, light, comfy, responsive, good value. But you mentioned mixed reviews too.
Right. The AI summary hints at it, and the individual comments bear it out. The biggest area of mixed feedback is battery life.
Ah, that 110, 210-hour claim. What are people actually getting?
It's all over the place. You've got some users absolutely blown away, like one person saying 5 days of use and battery still 100%. That's amazing.
5 days, okay.
But then you have others saying the battery dies quickly, some even needing to charge it every few hours.
Hours. That's a massive difference. How can it vary that much?
The most likely culprit, mentioned by reviewers and implied by the specs, is the RGB lighting. Those big battery numbers, 110 hours, 210 hours, are almost certainly with the RGB off, and the 210 is definitely in Bluetooth mode.
Ah, okay. So if you crank up the lights and game hard on 2.4 gigahertz.
That battery life plummets. So the takeaway for you is how you use the mouse drastically changes the battery performance. The headline numbers are best case scenario.
That's really important context. What else had mixed feedback?
Functionality, particularly around the software. Some users find it fine, the software is great too, but others report problems. One reviewer specifically mentioned issues with older Glorious software not recognizing the mouse and called the current Glorious Core software extremely underdeveloped, even though it technically works for basic settings.
Software issues can be really annoying, even if the hardware is good.
They really can. It suggests maybe the software isn't quite as polished as some competitors. And the last mixed area was build quality.
Really? Some thought it felt cheap.
Yeah, opinions diverge. Some say the build quality's tops, feels solid, premium. Others use phrases like somewhat cheap in quality or feels decently cheap compared to other high-end mice.
Why the difference, do you think?
Hard to say for sure. Could be minor inconsistencies in manufacturing, batch variations maybe, or just different expectations. If you're coming from a really tank-like mouse, maybe this feels less substantial due to the lightweight design focus.
Makes you wonder if some of those new returns are because someone got one that felt a bit creaky?
Entirely possible. And speaking of returns and specific reviews, did you see the one from the person who bought a used Model D, the older one, thought it had Bluetooth, realized it didn't come with a dongle, and basically said, "I'm an idiot."
Huh. Yeah, that was funny, but also a good reminder. This one, the D2, does have Bluetooth and does come with the dongle. Important distinction.
Definitely. And then there was the reviewer making the direct comparison to Logitech G Pro Wireless and Razer Ultimate, calling this a much better value alternative.
Yeah, that's super helpful for someone cross-shopping those top mice. It puts the Model D2 right in that conversation, at least on value.
And the person who switched from a wired mouse and said they're never going back, that speaks volumes about the wireless performance being truly reliable for gaming.
Okay, so let's try and connect all these dots for the listener. What's the final picture?
Well, the glorious Model D2 Wireless presents itself as this lightweight, ergonomic powerhouse. Top specs on paper, aimed at gamers needing speed and comfort.
And the user reviews mostly back that up, right? People seem to really like the feel, the weight, the performance for the price.
Largely, yes. But that deep dive into the reviews shows it's not quite perfect for everyone. There are definite inconsistencies reported, especially with battery life, depending heavily on how you use the RGB, and some concerns about software polish and build quality variability for some users.
So who's it really for then?
Probably ideal for right-handed gamers prioritizing that ergonomic shape, especially palm or claw grippers. People who want that ultra-lightweight feel for fast-paced games like FPS. And maybe someone looking for that dual wireless flexibility gaming on 2.4 gigahertz, work browsing on Bluetooth, as long as they manage their expectations about battery life with RGB on.
So understanding all this helps you read between the lines on the Amazon page. You see the big claims, the impressive specs.
And you balance that against the real-world feedback.
Yeah.
You celebrate where it clearly delivers weight, comfort, core performance for many, but you go in eyes wide open about potential quirks like battery life variants or software stuff.
It's about figuring out what your priorities are and whether the potential downsides are deal breakers for you.
Exactly, which really highlights that gap between lab-tested specs and messy reality, doesn't it?
It does, and that kind of leads to a final thought, maybe.
Yeah, something for you, the listener, to think about next time you're looking at any product page. You see these hard numbers, battery hours, sensor speeds, click ratings. They seem objective. But then you scroll down to the reviews, and the experiences are all over the map. Some match the specs, some flat out contradict them.
So how do you weigh that, the manufacturer's promise versus the crowd's experience?
Right. Why do those discrepancies exist?
Is it tiny manufacturing differences, different ways people use the product, different setups, or just plain old subjective feel? Every product page tells a story, but the whole truth. That usually lives somewhere in that space between the official specs and the user reviews. Something to chew on.
Definitely something to think about. Well, that's our deep dive for today.
Until next time, keep digging deeper.